What's up guys, Jason here. In this video I'm going to be teaching you to make a simple and efficient automatic Minecraft Bedrock player killer. This player killer works on 1.16 and on all other versions of Minecraft Bedrock, whether you're playing phone, tablet, Xbox, PS4, Nintendo Switch, or PC. This player killer will kill players as many times as you want until you shut it off. For this player killer, all you'll need is 2 chests, 2 pistons, 60 glass blocks, 18 redstone torches, 1 redstone repeater, 6 redstone, 1 trapdoor, 1 door, 14 slabs, 35 ladders, 1 bed, you guys can use any type of bed that you want, 1 lever, 2 buttons, 2 dispensers, 1 water bucket, 1 lava bucket, 2 hoppers, 1 torch, and finally about 5.5 stacks of solid blocks. You guys can use any type of solid block that you want, however you should not use any solid blocks that burn. The first step is to break 4 blocks. 1, 2, 3, 4. Now place down a double chest. Then crouch down and place 2 hoppers on top of the double chest. Make sure both of your hoppers funnel towards the chest. You guys can tell the hoppers are funneling towards the chest because the nozzles of them should be pointing towards it. These hoppers will automatically collect all of the items obtained and funnel them into the collection's chest. The next step is to take some solid blocks. You guys can use any solid blocks you want, however you should not use any solid blocks that burn. Then place 3 over here. 1, 2, 3. Now place 1 over here. Then place down a dispenser. Make sure this dispenser faces this way. After placing that dispenser, open it up and place a water bucket inside of it. Now come over here and place down a block at this spot, then place a redstone on top, then come back to the front and place a button at this spot. That redstone dispenser system will allow you to dispense water whenever you want to stop the player from dying. The next step is to place 2 blocks over here. Now crouch down and place a block on top of this dispenser, then place a dispenser at this spot. Make sure this dispenser faces this way. After placing that dispenser, open it up and place a lava bucket inside. The next step is to place 2 blocks over here, then place a redstone on top. Now place 3 blocks at this spot. 1, 2, 3. Then take a button and place it in front of this block. This redstone and a dispenser system over here will allow you to dispense lava just in case the player does not die of fall damage. The next step is to place a block over here. Now take some slabs. You guys can use any slabs as you want, however you should not use any slabs that burn. Then place 2 slabs over here. Now break this block. By placing these 2 slabs, you'll be able to collect any XP that we get from the player dying. The next step is to come over here. Now place down 30 glass blocks. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. After placing these 30 glass blocks, come back down. Now place 30 glass blocks over here. After placing those 30 glass blocks, your automatic player killer should be looking like this. The next step is to come back down to the bottom. Once you're back at the bottom, build up 29 blocks in each of these spots. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. After you guys are done building up 29 blocks on each of those sides, your player killer should be looking like this. This will be the drop chamber of this player killer. By the way, the reason why I place glass in front is so we can watch as the player gets dropped down. The next step is to place 3 glass blocks over here. Now place 3 over here. Then place 3 solid blocks at this spot. Now come over to this side and place 3 solid blocks at this spot. The next step is to turn over this direction. Then place 3 blocks over here and 3 over here. Now place 2 blocks at this spot. Then place 2 blocks on top of those 2. Now turn back this direction. Then place down 2 pistons. Make sure that both of these pistons face this way. The next step is to take a bed and place it over here. By placing this bed, we will get players to respawn over here, so they will be pushed off by the piston and continuously fall into the kill chamber. The next step is to place 2 blocks over here, then place 2 slabs at this spot, 4 slabs over here, 4 slabs over here, and 2 slabs over here. After filling in the slab roof, break the slab, then place down a trapdoor. This trapdoor will allow you to get the player into this top chamber. The next step is to come back down to the bottom of this player killer. Once you guys are at the bottom of the player killer, come over here. Now place 2 blocks at this spot, then place a block over here and a block over here. After creating that little shape, break the center block. The next step is to place a lever over here. Now place a redstone torch at this spot, then place a redstone repeater over here. Make sure the 2 prongs of that redstone repeater are facing that way. Now place a piece of redstone underneath this block. That should create a redstone clock. Once you guys have created this redstone clock, flick this lever down to shut it off. This redstone clock will cause the top pistons to constantly move back and forth to push the player off whenever they respawn down into this kill chamber. The next step is to come over here. Now place down a block, then place down a redstone torch on top. Now place a block on top of that redstone torch. Now place a redstone torch on top of that block. Then place a block on top of the redstone torch. Now place a redstone torch on top of that block. You guys are going to want to continue this process of placing down blocks and redstone torches on top until you get to the top pistons. By doing this, you guys will be able to send a redstone signal all the way from the redstone clock to the top pistons. If you guys created this redstone tower correctly, this top redstone torch should be powered off. The next step is to place 3 blocks over here. 1, 2, 3. Then place down 3 redstone. 1, 2, 3. As you guys can see there, that redstone should connect to those pistons. The next step is to come down to the bottom of the player killer. Once you guys are back down at the bottom, come over here, then place ladders all the way until you get to the top level. By placing these ladders, you will be able to easily access the top part of this player killer. The final step is to cover the redstone with solid blocks so that players will not be suspicious of this player killer. To do that, first come over here, and place a block at this spot. Now place 3 over here, 1, 2, 3, then place 3 on top. Now place 3 blocks at this spot, 1, 2, 3, then place a block over here, and 3 blocks over here, 1, 2, 3. The next step is to turn and face this direction. Now place 4 blocks over here, 1, 2, 3, 4, 4 over here, 1, 2, 3, 4, 4 over here, 1, 2, 3, 4, and 1 over here. Once you guys have done that, extend all those 4 sides up until you get to the top of the redstone tower. After extending those 4 sides up to cover the redstone tower, your player killer should be looking like this. The next step is to place a block over here, then place 4 blocks at this spot. Now place 2 over here, and place 5 blocks over here. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Once you guys have done that, come over to this side. Now place 2 blocks over here, 2 over here, and 1 at this spot. After covering all of that redstone, come back to the front of the player killer. Now place 3 blocks over here, 1, 2, 3. Then place 6 blocks over here, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Now place 2 at this spot. The next step is to extend those walls up until they're a total of 4 blocks high. After you guys have done that, fill in the roof. The next step is to break these 2 blocks and replace it with a door. Then come inside. At this point, if you guys want to add some light to this chamber, place a torch over here. By the way, if you guys want to make this player killer even less suspicious, you guys can replace these glass blocks with solid blocks. At this point, your player killer should be complete. How this player killer works is, whenever someone clicks that bed, their spawn point will be set up there. Then we can come down here and activate our redstone clock. Whenever that happens, the pistons will constantly move back and forth to push the player down over to this drop chamber. Once the player hits the ground, they will die of fall damage. Then you guys can collect all their XP over here, and all their loot will get funneled into that double chest. Whenever the player respawns, they will get pushed off again and continue to die. If the player happens to survive the drop, you guys can hit this button over here, which will dispense lava, so they should then die. When you guys want to turn the player killer off, you can shut off the redstone clock. After you have turned off the redstone clock, the top pistons will stop moving. However, the player may continue to keep falling and dying in this player killer. That is because they're spawning next to the bed. If that happens, you guys can hit this button over here, which will cause water to be dispensed and the player to survive. From there, you guys can let the player out of the player killer, and in order to prevent them from spawning up there in the future, you can break the bed. I'm now going to demonstrate how to use this player killer. To use it, first come up to the top with another player. Once you guys are up here, open this trap door, then tell them to go inside that chamber. After they're in the chamber, try to convince them to click on the bed. One way you guys can convince them to click on the bed is by saying that you want them to help you make a sky base, so by setting their spawn point up here, they'll easily be able to collect their drops if they accidentally fall off. Once they have clicked their bed, close the trap door, now come back down to the bottom. After you guys are back at the bottom, enter this chamber, then flick this lever. As you guys can see there, the player should now start constantly falling down and dying. You guys can collect all their XP over here, and all their loot will get funneled into the collections chest. As you guys can see there, all of Mackenzie's loot is now in this collections chest. I'm now going to show y'all what it looks like from the outside. As you guys can see there, the player that set their spawn point up there will constantly be pushed off, then they will fall down to this kill chamber. Whenever you guys want to turn the player killer off, flick this lever down. At that point, the pistons should stop moving back and forth. After turning the pistons off, the player may continue to keep falling and dying because they spawn next to the bed. If that happens, just click this button over here to dispense water. Then, as soon as they respawn again, they'll be saved. Then click this button. That should suck up the water. To let the player out, just break these 2 blocks. And as you guys can see there, they should be able to get out. After you let them out, you guys can replace these 2 blocks and the 2 ladders. In order to stop the player from respawning there in the future, come up there, then break the bed. I'm now going to show you all what to do if the player happens to survive the drop. If the player happens to survive the drop, hit this button, then lava will be dispensed, and they should get burned. By the way, if you do use this method, the items might not get picked up by the hopper. Once they have died, you can suck up the lava, then they will continuously fall down and die. As you guys can see there, since all their items are now picked up, they will now die of fall damage. By the way, if the player has fire resistance so they are not dying from the lava, you guys can hit them with a sword over here. I am now going to show you how you guys can escape this player killer if you are testing it out on yourself. As you guys can see here, I'm using this player killer on myself. Every time I respawn, I instantly fall and die. To escape, click respawn, then open your chat. Now type in /GameMode1. Then hit enter. As you guys can see here, whenever you respawn now, you'll be in creative. That will allow you to escape the player killer. One alternative way to get into creative mode while you're falling down to escape this player killer is to open your settings, then set your game mode to creative. After you have escaped the player killer and turned the pistons off, you can break this bed to prevent you from spawning there ever again. I hope you all enjoyed learning how to make this automatic Minecraft Bedrock player killer. Let me know if you guys have any suggestions for what I should do in future videos. Please like, comment, subscribe, and check out my other Minecraft videos. I upload every other day. Thanks for watching.